No, it looks great. Your hair always looks great. It's time, right? Like,
it is
who has
beyond
the
time.
But I mean, not like time for you to get your hair done. Time like it takes 2 hours, and who has that time?
I get it.
Okay, hello and welcome to the Miles with Moms podcast. It is just me, Whitney, and Tricia today.
Hey.
Yay. This is part 2 of a fun little series that we're doing this week where hopefully you already listened to part 1 with Shanna and Olivia, and I listened today and it was so entertaining. I laughed out loud many times. It was fun listening to it and not have heard it the first time. So they said some funny things. They said balls. They talked about balls, so we got to work that in somehow and continue our streak. But yeah, so we couldn't all make our schedules align this week. So we decided it would be fun to do put each other in the hot seat. So that's what we're doing. We took some questions from people on Instagram, and we have our own personal questions for each other. But I skipped over the intro. This is the Miles with Moms podcast. Welcome. It is a podcast for moms who run by moms who run. And I'm missing my script here. So our goal with this podcast is for mother runners everywhere to never have to run alone or feel alone in their mom life struggles or journey to accomplishing their big goals or little goals, because guess what? Taking time to take care of yourself and chase big goals and little goals as a mom's not only okay, it's awesome for you and everything that you're teaching your kids. We will probably swear on this podcast, so don't listen with your kids around unless they've already heard the words and they don't care. Anything is, and nothing's off limits in this podcast. So we talk about lots of things, and some of them turn out to be inappropriate. So
many of them.
It's kind of a talent, I think, that we have.
I think so. Yeah. That talent has escalated with each podcast episode, in my opinion.
I agree. And I think it's pretty impressive that every one of us can bring that level of inappropriateness to the table. I think the stars really did align when all 4 of us were brought together through the Instagram world, because I mean, all 4 of us think that talking about big balls, heavy balls, sweaty balls, little balls is all funny. Yeah.
I know. Like, what are the chances?
What are the chances?
4 grown women laughing about balls.
Yeah. I just remember when we were talking about the format of the podcast, and I asked, is it okay if we swear? And I was really expecting Shanna to say that she was not okay with it, because I know that faith is very important to her. And so I sort of assumed that she didn't have a potty mouth, but I was very pleasantly surprised that she was all for it. So.
Right. Yeah, she might have one of the worst potty mouths, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's secondary.
She's full of surprises. You're all full of surprises, really.
Right. So are you.
So thank you. So that's why having this conversation with you in this hot seat special, that I feel like we should be wearing hot pants. I don't know what that means.
The hot seat special.
The hot
phone
seat
sex
special.
Operators.
I'm not even going to try to put on a voice that sounds like
No,
my nasally voice whatsoever. Can't be a deep, sexy smoker's voice. It just can't happen. I'll just sound like a man. The hot seat special.
Yeah.
Or a serial killer. I sound like a serial killer.
Yes, you do. Wow. Hey, some people might be into that, you know? Some freaky shit out there.
Yep. I mean, American Psycho comes to mind. Have you ever seen that movie? I don't know.
I don't think so. Who's in that?
Patrick Bateman? Is that his name?
Patrick Bateman. It sounds maybe I have. It's old, right?
It's old. Yeah. Okay. I would have never watched a movie like that today.
I can't watch scary movies anymore. They freak me
I
out
have
way
no
more.
interest, honestly.
No, me neither. And I used to love them.
Were you into them?
Yeah. Like
Okay,
even as a
see,
kid.
I'm already surprised. You were full of surprises. All right, well, we'll start there. Okay, like what?
Okay. Well, we'll go
Like, are
way
we talking
back.
Scream or
Yeah, but even before that.
Poltergeist?
Poltergeist, yes. So I don't know why my parents let us watch Poltergeist. Like I remember watching it as kids. And that was my association with the Quaker man, was the creepy guy from Poltergeist. Like, I said it to my brother. I was like, don't you think the Quaker oatmeal guy is creepy? He's like, oh yeah, Poltergeist. I'm like, exactly.
Oh, did you just figure this out over Thanksgiving? Did you guys talk about it?
No, we talked about it like when we aired that, you know.
Oh, okay. Does your brother
guy.
listen to our podcast?
I don't think so. I don't think he has.
I would
my
be
dad
so
does
amazed. Oh my gosh. Shout out to your dad.
Yes.
My parents, I think, stopped listening after the running injury, and I titled it The Mind F, and they did not approve. So I actually did go back and change it to a different.
Did? I didn't even know.
I did. I changed it to mental assault. I really struggled. I'm like, there's no word that does it justice. Like the mind. Right. I'm bleeping myself out. The mind fuck of running injuries.
Right. That's exactly
the most appropriate word.
Right.
There's no good replacement for the F word in the English language. There just isn't.
None.
Yeah.
No.
So I tried. I did the best I could, just, you know, to make sure my parents weren't completely disappointed in me. So there's the backstory on that, if anybody noticed. But okay, so your parents got you into scary movies at a young age.
Yeah, and I remember going to a friend's house when I was young enough to still be playing with dolls. And her older sister was babysitting my friend and I, and had us watch Child's Play.
Oh.
That movie freaked me out for years. I wouldn't sleep on my back because I was like sure that Chucky was going to come. You know, he would sit on the kids' laps and like possess them, like when they were laying down.
I haven't seen these movies.
Oh, yeah. It's terrifying.
Now, I did watch The Exorcist because, fun fact, I went to school at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., and one of the priests, it's a Jesuit Catholic university, it was based on his life or something. Like he performed exorcisms, and so it was written by a priest there.
No way.
And there's steps that go from one of the streets in Georgetown that go straight down, and they're known as the Exorcist steps. And I don't think they were actually in the movie, but in the movie, the girl walks like on her hands backwards down these steps. But I would run them as a workout. They were a very popular because they go straight down, and it's
cool.
I don't know. There's like 200 steps or something crazy. Maybe not that many, but a lot of steps. And so it was a very good workout. So I did watch The Exorcist, and it really, really creeped me out. And
so scary. The original one.
I was one and done. That's enough for me.
So that's it. Oh, I've seen so many, but I think I stopped liking them when I had kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I even used to be obsessed with Law and Order, SVU. I can't watch that anymore.
So you and Olivia love Law and Order?
Yeah.
And my mom.
But not anymore. I haven't watched it in probably 10 years.
It's too
it's too graphic.
Real life.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too real life. I don't really watch that much TV anymore.
I don't either. I can't tell you the last time I actually turned on a TV to watch TV. We'll watch movies. We'll stream stuff.
Right.
But
yeah.
No, I'm very grateful that I got out of the TV news business before becoming a parent, because I would cover really terrible things. And you really have to compartmentalize. I mean, anybody that works too in the medical field, I'm just amazed by how they are able to compartmentalize. And I would really have to make a concerted effort. And I was young, so it was easier. But now that you know the gravity of things, it would be so hard. So I don't know how people do that too in TV news or in. We interviewed Elise Gilliver. I don't know if you listened to that, but she is an oncology pediatric nurse. And she just said that really does help her make sure that running stays in its rightful place, because she's seen awful things in her line of work that she never gets.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
she never gets. Well, I don't want to say never, but she doesn't get upset if she has to miss her running workout or she gets sick or anything like that. That can stress us out when we're on the marathon train or training for an ultra or whatever, because she always has that perspective from her job. So
That's
there
amazing.
is that good point. But okay, so what do you watch now? Do you watch anything?
No, not really. But not besides like kids stuff. Like lately we've been watching Is It Cake on Netflix.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that?
Yes, we have watched it. It's been a while. I know there's a holiday edition that Netflix just keeps telling me to watch.
Yeah, we were just watching it last night. But like regular, I can't tell you the last time I watched a series. Schitt's Creek, I loved.
So funny.
So good. Like
if you're having a bad day, turn on Schitt's Creek. Totally.
Absolutely. I just love David so much, and I just want him to be my best friend in real life. I love him. They're all good. Like each character is just amazing.
I know. Yes. Yeah. I haven't watched that show in a long time. Thanks for bringing that back. I should, because I haven't watched a show in a very long time at all either. I can't even remember what I've watched. So
no, me neither. Like, I know that was one of the questions.
Yeah, that was one of the questions. So, okay, we have a very long list of questions. However, I'm going to start with you, Broad. This is coming from me. This is not coming from one of the Instagram people.
Okay.
Why did you start your Instagram account? I don't think I know that about you.
Yeah. So I started it when I was pregnant with Brinley, my second, who's now 6. And I just wanted to share like my fitness journey while being pregnant, because I hadn't seen anyone doing like things that I was doing. So I ran, but then I was also doing a lot of like high intensity jumping and things that now you see more pregnant people doing. But at the time I was like, why? I mean, I feel good doing it. My doctor's okay with me doing it. Why don't I see more people doing this? So I was like, well, I'll just start sharing it. And that's how it started. And I got a lot of shit.
Yeah, I know you did.
Oh, yeah. And not as bad. The second still was bad. Like, I got a lot of like, oh, the baby's going to have shaken baby syndrome from all the jumping. And it was way worse with my third pregnancy. So I shared like that pregnancy journey, and then it was really rewarding because I was getting messages from people like, oh, you're giving me confidence to keep going and keep exercising through my pregnancy, when a lot of people were telling them not to.
Oh, yeah.
Even, like doctors were saying it's okay, but family members were saying, making them feel bad about it. So, and it just kind of spun from there, sharing more like postpartum. And then when I was pregnant with my third, that's when I started getting into more of like the pelvic health arena. And that was during the pandemic. Yeah. So I stopped working as a PT during the pandemic, pregnant with my third, and then got certified in prenatal and postpartum exercise. So while I was pregnant, it was kind of fun for me to be sharing information and also sharing my journey.
A lot of ammo for the haters too.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
right.
Not only am I fine and have the clearance from my doctor to be doing this, but I actually am credentialed to be helping other women do this as well. And I know how the body works. And you do have, maybe you should, an alternate account name for you could be like Iron Pelvic Floor.
Yes.
I'm just thinking, I don't know. I'm just thinking, as you know, I am dealing with some pelvic floor issues right now that I've bugged you about. But I've never really had issues with leakage or anything. But to see what you were doing while pregnant, like that's like genetically, you may just have like a very, very strong pelvic floor, or just all the work you've done up until then. Like, I guess, you're doing like the big movements, but I guess the work you're doing too is also focusing on the floor. You have a strong, this is weird what I'm saying. But you have a very strong pelvic floor, which
got
is
a real strong crotch, Tricia.
you got
No, and honestly, I there probably is a genetic component to it. My mom had 7 vaginal deliveries. And
she was doing jump squats and
maybe not to that extent, but the amount of people that would say like, oh, you have to be peeing your pants when you're jumping and running when you're pregnant. And like, that has never been an issue of mine.
Yeah.
And I think I have a lot of knowledge in what I'm doing, and that obviously is very helpful. But at the beginning, it was, almost
it wasn't.
dumb
Yeah,
luck.
you didn't. Yeah,
Right.
you didn't have the knowledge, but now
I had no
do.
clue.
So
right,
you have an even more ironclad crotch. So how did you? I think I have you to credit for getting a pull-up bar, actually, which has been my friend for several years now. Helped me through injury. This time last year, I couldn't do anything lower body, so I was like, I'm just gonna do as many, at least 100 pull-ups every day.
Yeah, you were crushing it.
I saw you do it, and it's nice now, just busy days, because I put it up in my doorway to my bedroom. So on busy days when I don't have time to do what I want to do, I'm like, every time I pass by, I'm just going to do 10 pull-ups,
Yeah.
So then it's like I'm at least doing something. But yeah, I remember seeing you do it. You had it up many years ago, and I was like, that's a really good idea. I forgot about pull-ups. Like I don't know if I've done pull-ups since the presidential fitness test in 5th grade,
Yeah.
So I have you to thank for that, because it's a great like little workout that you can do. Like it feels full body and it's hard, but it's quick. And so thank you. I just
you're
figured
welcome.
that out today. So how did you the workouts that you, first of all, you have the most beautiful push-up I have ever seen.
Oh gosh. Thank you.
The workouts that you do, are you doing, was it beach body, or what are you doing, and when did you start doing that sort of fitness?
Yeah. So I started getting into more like the high intensity type of workouts after I had my son. So he'll be 9 at the end of December. And, I was a marathon runner, like solely before I had him. And after I had him, I knew that I wouldn't be able to run like I did, because my husband traveled all the time. It was the dead of winter. I could only take him out in the stroller, but so much. Like, we had a ton of snow. So I was like, I need something else to keep my sanity. So I had a friend who was doing Beachbody, and I saw some of the workouts that she was doing. I was like, oh, I need, like, that seems like it would work. So, and then I really got into it. And I was a coach for a while, and that wasn't really quite my thing. I really liked helping people and getting people into fitness, but like not so much the building a team, like business side of it.
Yeah. Is it kind of like a, I don't want to say pyramid scheme?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
it's one of those things,
it's
right?
Done. Like, they're not doing it. It's all
over.
It fell apart. Okay. Just like all of them.
Well, I guess I'm sure Peloton displaced it.
Right. I think that's probably part of it. But I really did like the workouts, like specifically Shanti. So like the insanity, the really hard, I'm going to die type of workouts. That's my thing.
Well, it's a quick, so it's under an hour. It's like a quick burn.
Right.
But like it's quality work.
Right. Yeah. And some of them like 20 minutes, or it's like the hardest 20 minutes of your life, but it's
so what really are you doing now? Are you just looking at old ones, or you know enough that you just create your own workouts?
I'll still do the same one, like older ones. And I probably could do them without watching at this point, because some of them I've done so many times. But, and depending on where I am, like at the peak of ultra training, I won't do a lot of high intensity stuff, just because I don't want to risk injuring myself. It's a lot. So I'll get more into like strength training. I mix it up a lot more now.
Yeah, that's good. So, and are you training for an ultra right now?
I'm signed up for a 50-miler in March. I registered for that like a month or so ago, and then a 10-mile trail run in February. And I'm thinking about a 100-miler in the summer.
Yeah.
We'll see.
If anybody can do it, it's going to be you.
Well, thanks.
You have what it takes. The only thing you wouldn't have is maybe time, but you don't need that much time. It's like the back-to-back long runs that I think are the most important, right?
Right. And that's kind of what I just solely did, time on feet. And I did 73 miles. So I'm like, what's 100?
Oh, yeah.
It's not that much further.
Like you're
I mean, it's all relative after a certain point.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I think so. Yeah.
But let me. Oh, go ahead.
Well,
I was going to ask you a question.
You probably haven't had time. David Roach, he shaved like 16 minutes off the Leadville 100 record, and I've been listening. It's like a 2.5 hour interview with Rich Roll, but I've been listening to it because I love him, and he actually coached me for like a couple weeks, and then
you said that. So cool.
Yeah, it was. He was wonderful, and I really regret. If we talk about greatest regrets, that's probably one of mine, because I ended up going back with my old coach because I really love the community that he built. And one of my favorite things that I haven't been able to do in forever, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to do it again, is run on the track with people. And so he would have practices, and so I wanted to be plugged into his community. And but anyways, he only was doing like 70 miles a week, which for some people may be listening and thinking, wow, that's a lot of mileage. But for what he did, especially, he averaged like 6-minute pace up a mountain, like gigantic mountain for 100 miles. And I mean,
amazing.
So
anyways. He and his wife, I follow both of them. They're incredible.
They're incredible. Yeah, I've been their book, The Happy Runner. I read it when it came out like 5 or 6 years ago, and it's still my favorite running book.
Oh, really? I have to look that up.
It's very good. It's very good. Okay, sorry. I cut you off when I went off on that tangent.
How did you go about starting your blog and Instagram? Did you start the blog first or Instagram?
I started them at the same time. So yeah, and it was just because I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was searching online for things related to running and being a mom. And honestly, a big driver was mom guilt. I just felt so guilty running and being away from my kids, and still battling the guilt. Does anybody else feel this way? And Google isn't answering my question, and Google's not telling me why this feels weird or why my period is wonky right now. Running postpartum, or why does my toddler just wants to get out and run all the time? Or when I'm trying to do a stroller run, how do I keep her in the stroller so I can train it? Those types of questions. So I was like, somebody has to answer these. I guess it will be me. And then I just started. The main point of the account, the Mother Runners account, was to build the community, but also to share what I was putting on my blog. And that has been changing now because my blog is kind of going through an evolution. But yeah, that's really I've kind of cycled back. It's tricky because it's called the Mother Runners. So it's not Whitney. It's sort of my business, but so much of it is personal. And I struggle sometimes because a lot of it is personal, and it's with me and my personal journey, that I wish I was clever enough to put out the really cool reels that Shanna and Olivia do. But I just don't. I'm not as creative as them. And so it's a lot of, I don't know, it's kind of like this split personality of, this is about the Mother Runners and the Mother Runner community, but it's also about me and my journey and the lessons that I've been learning along the way. So yeah, I started it in the summer of 2019 when I launched my website. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I found you. And you had the other podcast.
I did. Yes. Which was fun, but I always wanted to do a podcast that was my own because that was for a different website. So I couldn't be inappropriate on that podcast. Somebody was paying me to host it and be buttoned up and serious. So
okay. I
I
didn't realize
couldn't come
that.
on there and talk about balls or iron crotches. Okay. All right. I'm going to look at these questions. Well, I'm going to go to some of the ones that people sent us because I would love to talk to you for hours, and I know you would just love to talk to me for hours.
Yes, of course I would. I easily could.
But we are unfortunately recording this and go time where it's like homework has to be done and dinner has to be cooked and dogs have to be walked. And I would love to not walk the dogs though, because it is so cold and windy here. What's it like in Virginia? I'm in Tennessee.
Awful. It's cold.
It was miserable.
Yeah. It was like 17 this morning.
Oh, whoa.
It was almost 80 this time last week. Like, I think just the drastic change makes it feel so much worse. It's awful.
It does. Yeah. There's no adjustment period. It's just boom, winter's here.
Right.
Okay. So what do you actually, I had this question for you too, because you posted something, I think in your stories, and I forget what it was. Do you have any supplements that you recommend? Because you did post something about a pre-workout, and I don't think I've ever taken a pre-workout. So, what do you use? What do you recommend? What actually works?
Yeah. So I've used a bunch, and so caffeine is like, that's my drug of choice, right? I'm not a big
lots of studies that reinforce that caffeine is effective.
Yeah.
And legal.
Yeah. And legal, yeah. And so I have to watch it because I love caffeine so much. So I used to be someone who would use a pre-workout every day. I mean, for years. And finally I was like, I've got to chill out. And it got to a point where I was using it so much, I didn't think it was really doing anything. Yeah, because I would go like pre-workout and then go straight to coffee, and then it's like 10 a.m. and I'm like, oh wow.
That
I don't use
me
it often.
When my husband and I started dating, he was really into lifting weights, and he was huge. He was beefy, and he was on like energy drinks, and he had like a bag of pills. I don't know what he got from a health shop here. He didn't even know what they were. This guy was just like, here, take these. And I remember I brought him home to meet my parents, and I was asking my mom, so what do you think of Jake? And she's like, well, he's caffeinated. Yes, he is that.
Oh,
he no longer takes a bag of mysterious pills. I don't know what.
Did you ever ask him what these pills were?
No, he doesn't know. He just he didn't know.
Just a random bag of pills.
Yeah, good. So there's a guy here in Knoxville named Eddie, and he owns a health shop, and he helps all these pro athletes. I mean, he just knows his stuff. Yeah. And I mean, Olympic runners, and actually anyways, I'm going on too many tangents, but Eddie was like, here, Jake, take these. And so Jake did.
Eddie is Jake's drug dealer. Take this unmarked bag of pills. It'll be fine.
It's so funny because he will not take anything. I mean, he will be so sick or something will really be hurting, and like, just take an Advil, and he does not want to take anything.
Really?
So yeah.
Scarred for Life by Eddie.
Maybe. Yeah, much has changed. So anyways, I'm sorry. Yeah. So what pre-workout? So you used to take one every workout, but now it's only for like the big ones.
Yeah. Or if I because I'll drink coffee before a run, and it definitely doesn't give me the same jolt of energy.
Jinx.
Yes, jolt. So I've been using J-Flex. Is this like have you ever heard of them? They have probably like home workout equipment. Yeah. They they like have workout like resistance bands and all this stuff. So they'll send me some things every once in a while. And then they sent me an email. They're like, hey, we just came out with a pre-workout. Do you want to try this? I'm like, well, yeah, absolutely. And I really like it. And one thing I really like about it is that it's third-party tested, because some of the entire supplement industry is not.
Oh, it's unregulated.
Like it's unregulated. Yeah. So some of these, you have no idea how much caffeine you're getting. And I've had that experience before, just going to like GNC and getting samples of random pre-workouts. And the first time I ever took one, I had never had one before. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I mean, some of them are just insane amounts of caffeine and beta alanine, which it gives you like a tingly feeling, and some of them in a really bad way. But I really like this one from them. It's not an absurd amount of caffeine. It's maybe like a little over a cup of coffee worth, but it definitely, and it has electrolytes in it. So I like that one.
Okay. Well, that's worth trying. Now that you mention it, long ago, I used to do Amino Energy. I think that's a pre-workout.
I've done that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would get heart palpitations.
Oh yeah.
And it made me have diarrhea, I think. So yeah, that's a no-go.
That combination, heart attacks and diarrhea. Yeah.
But lots of people love it. So Amino Energy, if you want to sponsor us, there was a time where I was into trying out different supplements, and I would do the glutamine after, and but I'm not training hard for anything right now, but I haven't in years really done much supplements, other than I take supplements for like I don't take performance supplements, I guess. Like I take an iron pill, I take a multivitamin, that sort of thing.
Same.
Yeah.
You do collagen?
So I started doing somebody on Instagram, Mandy Kimball, reached out to me, and she is with Modere, and it is. I put her through the ringer, asking her a bunch of questions about whether or not it actually is absorbed and metabolized. And she's a nurse, so she comes from a healthcare background, and she shared all the studies and everything. So it's called Modere Life BioCell. And so I did start taking that. You drink it. And I think it helps.
Yeah.
Before using it, I would get achy knees, and hello. 10 minutes. Okay. All right. Bye. Love you. See what I mean? And I do really, really like it. And I've had some athletes use it who really like it. And Previnex is a supplement company that has sponsored me in the past, but we have not right now. But they have a joint health supplement that some of my athletes have also taken that have helped with arthritic knee pain. So yes, those are what I wrote. You want to come say hi real quick? You can't hear Tricia. You can come say hi. There's Eleanor.
Hi.
She's
I love your sweater.
Mom.
It was actually mine, and I shrunk it.
Oh,
so
no way.
And there's
Your
Cal.
hair
Your
hair looks terrible.
Your hair.
I just got a bad haircut.
It's not
it
bad.
looks good.
I look like a Karen.
She's saying it looks. You don't look like a Karen.
Yeah, look.
I think it looks great.
She thinks you look great.
No, look. I look like a mashed potato.
Mashed potato. A very
That
cute
wasn't my
mashed
first
potato.
thought. Yes,
That
very
was
cute
not her
mashed
first
potato.
thought, she said. All right, you guys smell like candy canes. Okay, I love you. I'll be done in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See ya. Yeah, scissors. I was using those. Okay. Did you hear that?
What do you say?
I won't say it. I don't want to embarrass them.
Okay.
Okay. So do you take anything other than
I feel like I went through. I take a collagen. I just started using it's Total Body Collagen, which my boss had recommended, and I really like it so far. And then I also use creatine.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. And I started that probably over the summer when I started seeing a lot of like the sports registered dietitians talking about it and listening to some podcasts and that I just use like 2.5 milligrams, usually mix it up. It's a powder after a workout. And
Okay. What do you mix it up in? Do you put it in water or?
I'll put it in like just a smoothie or water. Okay. I've put it in coffee. It's tasteless.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I have gotten it, and then I have not been. To have the effects, you need to use it consistently, right?
Right.
And I was not on that train, so I have not used it. I think I got the momentum kind, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yes. What? Oh, will you turn it off and open it? Just look for the button that says cancel. Okay, thank you. Love you. Nothing special. Sausage rolls. I'm sorry. Okay, the oven's going off. I found random stuff in my freezer and was like, just
this'll do.
Maybe they'll eat this. I did not do my meal planning. Okay, let's see. Do you want to do like a deep, because we're running out of time. I told my kids 10 minutes.
Man, we're going to have to
do this again. Okay, yeah, let's do rapid fire. That sounds fun. Do you just want to bounce back and forth?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. What's your favorite book?
Ooh. I feel like I have a couple different answers, but David Goggins' book I really, really enjoyed.
Which one?
Both of them.
Both of them?
Yeah, both.
That's not surprising.
I know. Well, I feel like I always have thought he's just incredible because
he is incredible.
But then I gained a new appreciation for him, just knowing his background and all of the really hard things that he's come from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say my one problem with his book, and I think this is what I'm struggling with, is he's all about just like mental toughness, just tough it out. And he's done a lot of irresponsible things with his body.
Oh, sure.
And I feel like anytime I've just tried to tough it out, I've only made things worse.
Right.
And I personally am struggling with if there's a will, there's a way. I'm like, I have the will to run as fast and far as I can, but I'm having a really hard time finding the way to do this, to allow my body. And I'm not giving up, but it's just sometimes just grit doesn't seem like it's enough. I don't know. Maybe I do need to be grittier, but okay. That's a good one.
Favorite movie?
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Oh. Have you seen that one?
I don't think I have.
It's
I know
really funny
about it, but okay.
It's so funny. So I highly recommend it. And it's got Seth Rogen in it, and Kristen Bell, and Seth Rogen. That's his name. Yeah. For a second, I'm like, it's not Joe Rogan. No, very different people.
No.
Very different people. Okay. All right. What's your biggest pet peeve?
People that want something and will complain about it, but won't put in the work to change it.
That is mine too. That and people that don't ask questions. Yes, that is one. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that drives me crazy. Like I had a patient recently he was in a pretty terrible accident and is having a lot of trouble walking, so he's using a walker right now. And he's like, all I want to do is be able to walk and, get stronger again. And then he came in and was like, yeah, I just sit down all day watching YouTube.
What?
And I'm
How old is this person?
Wait a second. I would say mid to late 50s.
Is he on disability or something? How can he just I'm sorry. I'm not going to go on that tangent, but yes. So frustrating.
So I'm like, you're telling me you want to be able to walk, without the walker, but you're also saying you're not doing the exercises that you're paying me to give you, and you're just sitting on your ass all day. I was like, this is not going to work if you really want it. Like, you've got to put in the work.
Oh, yeah. My doctor does not see patients who will not put in the work. He just, if he meets with you and he knows that he just won't pursue it. Yeah. It's a waste of time.
It is. It's a waste of everyone's time.
Okay. Oh, it sounds like our puppy is opening the Christmas presents that I just wrapped and put under the tree.
Oh, no.
Which I will say, I am not usually like this on it pre-wrapping.
Yeah, that's
we have,
incredible.
3 weeks to go, but Eleanor really wanted some presents under the tree. So I was like, okay, well,
good for you.
Better get on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's my turn.
Okay. If you could go on a run with anyone in this world, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. You, Olivia, and Shanna.
But really.
I really think so. So we have to make that happen.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, no, gosh, who would it be?
Pro athlete. Let's narrow it down.
Okay. Sarah Hall.
I thought that
I
was
love
gonna be your
her.
answer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just really love her and the fact that she is so gritty and she gets knocked down and she just gets right back up. And she just seems like just such a genuine person.
She does. Seems like
maybe
laid
we'll
back.
have her on one day.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
What about you? That's a good question.
I would say Courtney DeWalter. And just talk about like laid back.
Oh my gosh.
I listened to a podcast with her recently and they were like, what supplements do you use? She's like, none. They're like, a multivitamin? She's like, no, just eat what I want. And
she has no training plan. No I'm just going to go out and run and come back whenever.
Right. Just crush, like dominate men, women.
And she comes across as just so humble and genuine too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Couple more. Let's see.
Okay.
It's let's see. Do you want a deep question? Oh yeah. No, we'll do a superficial one. What kind of music do you listen to? Forget about deep.
Right. I love EDM. So like electronic dance.
Oh. Okay.
And then like 90s hip hop.
I really wanted you to go like EDM, and I'm picturing you like chugging your pre-workout, getting all hopped up and ready to go. And then
like glow sticks.
Barry Manilow or Kenny G, some smooth jazz.
What about you?
You may be surprised that I am a huge fan of Justin Bieber. Like,
really?
I love him.
He's still around?
Well,
like
no,
old school.
Sadly not. Actually, if you ask me what my greatest regret in life is, it is not going to his concert. So Jake and I went to his concert in March of 2021. And we got COVID because I was like in every 20-year-old's face going like, oh my God, I can't believe we're here. He's right there. And so I got COVID. And we were so like, we were just both like, it was the most incredible show. He's an incredible
Jake's a big
performer.
fan too.
Yeah. He went like, obviously he's not as big of a fan as I am, but, and then we bought tickets to another show. So that was in Atlanta and he was going to Nashville a month later or something. And then I was really afraid of getting COVID again. And my mother-in-law was sick at the time and I didn't want to chance getting her sick. So we didn't go. And then he suffered a health crisis where he had like facial paralysis and it's brought on by stress. So then he doesn't perform anymore. So what did I just say? A mental crisis, health crisis? He has something. It's some
like
sort of viral. I think it was a virus, like Epstein-Barr or something like that, and that's how it can manifest with stress. Is like facial paralysis. His face is not paralyzed anymore, but he can't live a stressful life. So yeah, I love I listen to a lot of things that my son listens, like he likes Juice World and Post Malone, and so I listen to that. But then I also love folk rock. There's a band called Blind Pilot that I have always loved. So yeah, it's kind of a mixture. Not quite Barry Manilow and EDM, but you know.
Yeah, not Barry Manilow, not for me, but I do like a good variety. But I would say those are my top two genres of music.
I like 90s hip hop as well. Brings me back.
You can't beat it, right?
You can't. It's just better. Now, like, music is just so raunchy now.
Right.
I sound so old, but I'm like, it's so I try to listen to stuff with my kids. I'm like, this is so inappropriate.
Right. But have you ever seen the reels now that are like our age people saying that? And then going back and actually listening to the lyrics of the shit that we used to listen to.
This actually happened last night. Cal and I were listening to something in the car, and an Eminem song came on from the early 2000s. I was like, oh man, Cal, this song is so good. You're going to love it. It's got such a good, and it was bad. It was so bad.
They were all bad.
He said terrible things. And I'm like, I don't remember him saying, and I was surely old enough to know.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
No, so it's the same.
Yes,
we just didn't.
We turned out okay.
Yeah.
We're just creating a podcast talking about inappropriate things, but not that inappropriate. My goodness.
No.
Okay. Let's do one more. Okay, here's a reflective. Let's do a reflective one. So these questions are funny. Like, I'm sorry.
I know, I'm looking.
Let's dive into what role does family play in your life? Like, well, tell us about your family of origin issues. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. How do you handle stress or a difficult situation? This is going to be our final question. I think I know, but
yeah, it's probably obvious. I work out really hard. It keeps me out of prison.
So the fitter you are, the more on the brink you are, is what you're saying.
That's probably a good sign. Yeah.
So you couldn't be any fitter than you are right now. Oh, God. So everybody watch out.
Yes. It's an accurate representation of the stress in my life right now. That's for sure. Yeah, that's exactly. And you know what? And I was just saying to a friend today that it's not the best coping mechanism because, I should probably.
It's way better than drinking a bunch of beer and watching YouTube all day. Or I'm not saying that that's what your patient was doing. I threw the beer in there, but it's
right.
It's way healthier than that, or having a shopping addiction or something.
Yeah, you're right. It could be way worse. Yeah, I could be like a hardcore drug addict.
Right.
And I'm not.
Just, getting into a little bit of meth here and there.
Right.
No, that's just something I
pre-workout and going crazy in my garage.
Right. Pre-workout's the gateway to, no, that's how I would talk myself off the ledge when I would feel guilty for running. I'd be like, it's not like I'm dancing on tables and bars every night. Like, I just want to get up early and go for a run. It could be a lot worse.
It could be way worse. What about you? Especially now that if running and like being injured, what is your biggest stress coping mechanism when you can't run?
I probably just talk a lot about myself and my struggles to anybody that'll listen in public places. And I tend to spider web. And what I mean by that is I just start looking for ways to fix whatever problem I'm going through. So I'm just asking for advice. I'm doing research. I'm seeing professionals. I'm like, I need to get this figured out. I need to fix this. But so I usually go through like a hopelessness, then a information gathering period, and then I become more sane and develop a plan. is typically how it follows. But there's always like panic and hopelessness at the front end. And I am not somebody that, like, I think I called you a duck early on, like where you look like you have it together and like nobody would ever have any clue if you're stressed out unless they see you in the morning pounding your pre-workout and like hammering out push-ups. But for me, like I cannot hide it when I'm in distress. So everybody will know. Like, how are you, Whitney? Well, I will tell you how I am really doing.
You're
like,
asking.
I do not fake anything well. I cannot lie. I cannot fake things. So yeah, that's how.
And neither can I. I'm a
it.
terrible liar too. So, but I feel like if someone asks me and I'm like, I get a good vibe if they truly want to listen to my life story.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Otherwise, I think I do a very good job at fooling myself. Like, it's fine. It's fine. The room is on fire, but I'm totally fine.
I do think that is not a bad coping mechanism because sometimes when you talk about it too much, then you like perseverate and it kind of snowballs.
Right.
You know?
I agree.
And I've learned if you get other people's opinions and then you're stressing yourself out because you're like, oh, well, I need to do this and I should do that. And then it's the train goes off the tracks.
Right.
Okay. Well, this
you've
has
got
been
sausage rolls and stuff to tend to.
I got sausage rolls to take care of. Let's talk more about sausage rolls.
Yes.
I got a sausage party to
sausage
go to.
roll. You have sausage parties to go to.
Oh
Tables to dance on. And
tables to dance on, and you have iron crotches. I think that's a new one. I think we should be proud of that one.
Ironclad crotch. I think so. Yeah.
I will
Tell
be
me
very
your
pleased.
superpower.
I have an ironclad crotch. I would be very pleased if when I log on to Instagram tomorrow, I see that you are no longer burpees and burp cloths. You are ironclad crotch.
No, do you think my following would go up or down?
I mean, it could be a fun experiment.
I know.
Yeah.
Because now, my children are, I don't use burp cloths anymore.
You need an update. So consider
an update. I will.
Or something like
top contender.
Yeah. Something with your pelvic floor. I wanted to say pelvic floor in your face. I feel like a totally different kind of okay. Not on that note.
Oh God.
This has been great. I would love to talk to you for so much longer. But thanks for brightening my day, ending on a high note.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you.
Can't get any higher than my pelvic floor in your face.
And let me just say before I know you've worked very hard to make your pelvic floor strong. So I don't want to say it's just genetics, like you genetically have a strong pelvic floor. I know you work very hard.
Yes,
but you do a lot of stuff and it's very impressive. So
thank you. Thanks.
One day I will say, I do want to have you lead the three of us in a workout session. I think that would be really fun. I think that'd be so fun. And to watch us be like really uncoordinated and have no idea what we're doing.
That would be so much fun.
It would. So
you too can have an ironclad crotch.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So listeners, look forward to that. Thank you for tuning in. And rate, review, subscribe, do all that stuff. Tricia, have a great rest of your evening.
You too, Whitney. Enjoy your sausage party. Bye.